Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Full Time Devils podcast. I'm Adam McClair. He is Jay. We've got Andy Tate, and we've also got a Manchester United hero in the house, Mr. Brian McClair, one of a handful of players to score over 30 goals for the club in one season. A lot of people don't know that, and you were the first after George Best, was it, to score over 30 goals? Did you know that yourself?
I did, because I was grilled upon this fact when I did the press conference when I signed for Manchester United in 1987. I thought the most important fact was that Manchester United hadn't won the league since then. I did manage to score over 20 league goals that season, but again, we still did not win the league. I never did it again, but I've got a couple of league medals after that. So, yeah, that's the only fact I'm aware of. Because
a couple more than some.
You've got more than a couple, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I've got 4.
Two couples.
Yeah,
just got two couples
4,
of medals.
You know.
Now, one thing I do want to talk to Brian McClair about. Now, Jay has done a video with Choccy. So Choccy's joining us for like 15 minutes of the podcast. So he has to shoot off soon. So we're going to get his thoughts on the podcast on a few things that are currently in the news now. Raheem Sterling, Joe Gomez is in the news at the moment. I know it's not Manchester United based, but we're going to get there. Now, Choccy was involved, for you younger lot, before Keane and Vieira. It was Choccy against Arsenal and all that. But I kind of want to hear, like, because there's a lot of needle between Gomez and Sterling, apparently. But there was way more back in the day. Now, that great day at Old Trafford, it was before my time. But I've heard...
I wish it was before mine.
I've heard a lot of stories. So what was the day like before the game?
Always the same thing. The great rivalry, it probably started the season before when George Graham's Arsenal came to Old Trafford, hadn't been unbeaten in the league, and Manchester United turned them over 2-0. I think Norman Whiteside was the protagonist in that game. In that, I think he tackled a number of the Arsenal players round the neck, and that was quite low for Norman at the time. And there was quite a friction happened with that, and then there's a few things happened between me and Nigel Winterburn. And that game, it was always a good game because they were like, I mean, Fergie used to say if you finish above Liverpool, you win the league. But then Arsenal came along and were also very much part of that. So it became a focus, those types of games, and then the rivalry continued over a number of years because it was a lot of the championships were shared right through that time and the time after I left between Arsenal and Manchester
In the
United.
dressing room before the match, were there any instructions to not get involved, to get involved? They don't like it like that? What was it?
No, the instruction would always be simple. The manager would always choose a player. And most of the times he was right, who he thought was the one that made the other team tick. I can't remember who particularly was in that game, but you can't legislate for things. There was a tackle on Dennis Irwin that inflamed my inner rage, and I accidentally kicked Nigel twice on the back. And then
accidentally on purpose?
Well, accidentally. Just very quickly accidentally kicked him twice. It happens, doesn't it? And then before you know it, Michael Thomas has got me by the throat, and Tony Adams is there, and Anders Limpar, being really brave, runs behind me and punches me in the side of the head, for which I ended up with 2 stitches, and Paul Ince chased him round the pitch like it was in the playground. Still the defences up at the time. He's got him pinned down right by the fences, and all the United fans are baying him like to rip Anders' throat out, you know. So there's no way that either manager could have predicted that was going to happen, because I didn't predict it before the game, you know. But it's a sort of thing that happens, and it happens as part of the rival, as part of the winning and the desire to win. Me, like Roy Keane mentioned recently, it irritates me watching players cuddling in the tunnel before the game, cuddling the opposition. I don't mind them cuddling their own teammates, but cuddling the opposition and their best mates and all that kind of thing. No, you're not the best mates. He's your enemy. You know, he's trying to steal money out of your pocket. Get out there, and you know, and it's funny that a number of people that I talk to who are huge United fans, they just want to watch players grafting, and part of that graft is sometimes falling out, and they want to know they're human as well. So if you're going to fall out with people on the pitch and they irritate you so much, quite rightly, get the first opportunity you get, give them a dig, even if that's in an England hotel.
So you like what, even though it's from obviously the blue side,
I think
you like to see that kind of thing.
I think it's like saying, if you're really irritated about whatever happened there and you're so annoyed about it, yeah, we'd all be doing things like that.
Because the fans would have still been feeling it the next day as well, and it's kind of like, it shows that he cares, and I kind of like, I love that stuff. There used to be that complaint about England before, there's too many clicks and this, that. Were there any Scottish players in that?
In England?
In that Arsenal side that you filled in?
No. No, there was a Scottish man, 2 Scottish managers.
Just, no, because I was just trying to see.
The thing was good. Do you know the great thing about it, in the sense of, right? So Fergie used to sometimes turn around and say, games, particularly important games, he would go, "He's glad he's playing today. You should be glad he's playing today. And you're glad he's playing today." And you look round, and you think, "Oh yeah, if you're in the trenches, you beat your shoulder." And give both teams due credit on the day. They were all at Nigel's shoulder or Michael Thomas's shoulder, and they were all at my shoulder. Well, apart from 2, David Seaman, known as, his nickname was Spunky. I don't know why. He couldn't be arsed wandering down from his goal line, so he just stood and watched. And all I know until recently, I've only found out that Clayton Blackmore couldn't be arsed wandering from left back. Didn't get involved. He's just outed himself that he wasn't actually involved in it, So
was he in the changing room after, like, I got him, I got him for you, don't worry.
There is a bit of that, because I say there's a brilliant photograph of that I've got. I've not got many photographs of me, but I've got a photograph of me and the physio, Jimmy McGregor, stitching my ear up, because I come back on the pitch with 2 stitches. But you're talking about the television and replays and all this controversy around VAR. If VAR hadn't been involved in that, the game would have to get abandoned, because there would have to have been 4 or 5 centres offs in either side.
Can you imagine VAR trying to pick the bones out of that?
But the referee at the time was stood back and just let it all happen and let it all calm down and fizzle out. And then I thought, I've never been sent off in my life at any level.
How did you get away without?
I don't know.
Was it just so much going on that you?
Well, what that happened? Very experienced referee. He takes a review of the whole situation, so you've got to be mindful of that. I've kicked somebody. You might not have seen that
twice
because it was so fast. I think it's the fastest my feet have ever moved. Nigel's had a bit of poorly timed challenge on Dennis. Somebody's punched me from behind. Michael Thomas has got me by the throat. And there's all sorts of other stuff going on. I'm just watching Michael Thomas and Tony Allen to make sure I don't get another dig set from the front this time. And it all calms down, and the ref, and I thought, that's me, I'm got to be sent off here. Can't get away with that. And the referee comes over, right, whatever, and he booked Nigel Winterburn. And that was it. And that was it.
That's great.
20 man brawl and one person gets booked.
Well, you just stood there like
Nigel was kind of still on the ground somewhere, I think, underneath all that sort of stuff, so can't really say Nigel.
What did the boss say after?
I think he was not irritated because we lost the game, didn't we? We lost the game 1-0, and he was going mental about that. But I went in the next day, and his assistant, he sent in his office and went in, shut the door, come in, and he's like, no, doesn't look didn't look very pleased most of the time, but Archie Knox is killing himself laughing. His assistant at the time, he's crying laughing, and he just said, "What possessed you?" Because I'm not that type of person really. What possessed you? So I don't know. I just know he's crying like that. It was brilliant. He thought it was great, So I volunteered to get fined, so I got fined 2 weeks' wages for it. So.
Does Dennis Owen look after you now?
Dennis, yes, we'd always be there. So that, as I'm saying, even now you would know that the number of players that you were with, a lot of the times that was the case. If everything you would be there at their shoulder, So I can understand why, and it's refreshing in a way to hear that there's still some life in some football players.
Do you think that was something that was input to you by the manager, or something that you all had as people?
Yeah, but you get involved in the whole sometimes you get involved and it's great to be part of that. What I loved listening the other day was that it sounded as if Old Trafford was really, really lively. It sounded really jumping. Sounded as if the atmosphere was really good. This is before. This is before the any goals were scored and that kind of thing. And I thought that sounded to me going back to the 80s, and the 90s when I was playing.
What was the kind of, because you kind of played through that crossover between the old Division 1 and the Premier League. Shit and good, yeah. And the old Premier League, and like, do you look back now and think you lucky sods in terms of the players? And
I don't. I mean, it just changed in the sense. I mean, people say to me all the time that, I bet you wish you'd playing now so you can buy yourself an orange Rolls Royce. I mean, that's all.
Like Rojo.
I don't know.
Rojo's got one.
So it's like, for me, like, it's social media and other things you take part of, you don't take part of it. You wouldn't wander up to, many people wouldn't wander up to people in the street and call them the things that they call them on Twitter. So it's a kind of fascinating thing for me, but I'm glad I'm not involved in all that scenario. I mean, I get people taking pictures of me now and sending them to other people when I stopped playing. Yeah, arguably a long time ago. But, and so I wouldn't want to be involved in that sort of scenario. I wouldn't be so crass to win by that car and get it wrapped in orange, if that's what happened to it, So and that's nice. All this stuff is great. And I say VAR, it distracts me and it irritates me, and I'm a fan watching all sorts of football. So as a player, I mean, I might be getting the red mist every game, so maybe I would have got sent off 1 or 2 times more than
with VAR and like.
Mate, there's
a lot of snide stuff.
My time is my time, and as I say, that I used to daydream about being a professional football when I was walking to school. And what happened to me, and this continues to happen to me, was far beyond any of my dreams. I mean, like today, I'm getting invited on this 12 o'clock.
This isn't great.
12 o'clock podcast at 12:05 is one of the best things that's happened to me.
Listen, listen, Brian. Having shot to everyone today and me, I was told to be here for 1. Yeah. So I was actually early.
I was here for 12. Right, listen, this was all last minute because he's messaged. I thought it was 1.
If it was Keno, I would have got here for 12.
Oh, right, because he wouldn't be here. You might have passed them and gone out the door.
Are there any players?
You'd have been ignored as well. He'd have ignored you as you walked past you in the doorway.
Are there any players that you wish you played with that played after you, that even maybe in the current squad? Or has football changed so much that you just don't recognise?
No, I know. I think that for me, I'm delighted and love seeing how well McTominay's done. Having known a lot about the history of the kid and how much he before anything that him and his family love Manchester United. So to have gone through a lot of tough growth problems, that he is now looking, for me, a real top football player.
And you talk about that scrap. He looks like someone that would get involved in that and back his teammates as well.
I think that's the that again. It's in. I think it's you can't. If you want to, when you're coaching players and you're helping, you have all sorts of different attributes. It's the one thing you can't put in. It's inherent. It's like your nose. It comes from somewhere. It's the size of your ears. It comes from somewhere. But inside that fight, to want to be successful, and then exactly what you say. If you want to have people who are going to be there by your shoulder when you need them. I don't think I've seen Scott curling anybody in the tunnel.
There's a bit of that in the United team, though, isn't there, in a minute?
There's a few bastards in there. I like it.
Yeah,
a lot of them just piss me off because they're not very good at football. But like, there's a lot of like Rojo, Bailly. You don't want to fight with them. You don't. McTominay. I think what McTominay is showing is that grit, and because you remember what my thoughts are now. I didn't think he was that talented, but it's kind of like he's got this opportunity and he's determined not to let it go, and that kind of spreads throughout the team, doesn't it? When you have that kind of.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you got him, and you got coming in recent games, and then there's Brandon Williams, and he's the same. He's fought his way to get the chance of playing for Manchester United, and he's going to do everything he possibly can to remain in the team and at that football club for a long period of time. It's great for a kid from East Manchester to have that chance, and it's all down to him because that's what he's wanted to do. That's been part of his dream. You might have to accept that he's going to miss 1 or 2 games because he is, we'll say, a wholehearted, enthusiastic football player who might occasionally
get sent off.
Yeah.
It doesn't help when you're getting sent off in behind closed doors friendly for headbutting 30-year-old Accrington Stanley captains, does it?
Well, I think you've just got to accept. I think you've just got to accept that you're maybe going to have in his career. Hopefully, it'll be a long one. He looks as if he's got enough about him to play for Manchester
I think
United.
there's a way you can
manage
that though, because I think Gary never had that bit of spite about him where he might leave a little something in on you, but he didn't get sent off all the time unless you would expect that with experience that might get tempered a bit, but it might not. So if you accept that he may miss a few games through suspension, I think he looks like he could be a right good football player for Manchester United. Andy, any questions that you want or a question that you want to ask Choccy? Because obviously, like, you have. I remember Brian McClair scoring in a game against Arsenal at Highbury, but that was like late back end of your career, I think. Like, you would have seen a lot of his career, from the stands maybe as well. Like, is there anything that you
stand out? Did you the overhead kick against Liverpool, 89 New Year's Day? Was it split second you were going to do it?
Well, you just react to what you're doing. It's not really an overhead kick. It's like I used to practice things when I was younger and all that kind of thing. Not as much as there was a German player, Fischer, who was brilliant at overhead kicks. But he actually used to have a mattress on the training pitch, and he would actually use that to land on.
Yeah.
If I'd have brought a mattress into to the Cliff or Littleton Road when we were playing, I think it would have been my last act as a Manchester United player. You
tried one the following season, didn't you?
Train near our house. There's loads of mattresses on the fields near us.
You tried it the following season as well, but Bruce Grobbelaar saved it. Remember that? We lost 2-1 at Liverpool.
I don't know. I mean, every now and again I used to look as if I was half athletic.
94 cup final. I was going to win. My bet.
That was my first
everybody tells me that. You see, there must have been 113,000 United fans who had
3-0.
Cantona, first goal scorer, and 3-0.
And he scored the 4.
So I scored a goal in a cup final. I dream scoring a goal in an FA Cup final. And I'm going through the hall at Wembley getting berated by my own supporters.
Was that the 94 final?
Yeah, Chelsea 4-0.
What are you doing? I'm like, 3-0 lad, 3-0 Cantona first goal. How am I supposed to know that?
It was a great finish though.
You just said I had 4-0 Brian McClair last goal.
But the thing is, a minute or so after that, Sparky was in the same situation, and really he should have rolled the ball across the goals, and it would have been 5-0. But if you watch it closely, I did actually nearly miss as well.
Well, they got the 2-yard screamer.
Comes off my studs. It goes off the side of the boot. It comes off my studs. It was one of them. It was one of them. At the time, I'm thinking, I'm glad that went in, because it'll kill me. It'll take me back off. It'll take you back off or something like that. The manager, get off. You used all the subs. Get off.
I remember a double. He scored a double at Hillsborough in 89. We went on a little mini run. Was going to go win the double 89. Remember that?
Was this the goal we were talking about earlier?
Hillsborough.
No.
Oh, right.
I just remember he scored twice at Sheffield Wednesday.
No, that was a 12 o'clock kickoff. We were still asleep.
We still would.
David Hurst scored a couple of goals, so he would have been a great player.
He would.
He didn't want to. I don't know if United.
Or the equaliser. 92, 93. Boxing Day. I was there. We were 3-0 down, and Brian scored scored 2, and Cantona got the equaliser. I think that was right, wasn't it?
Could have done that.
Yeah.
I need to.
You scored.
I need to do some homework on myself.
Man, come on.
I need to do homework on myself.
See, that was every goal I scored.
I remember it.
Yeah, but but I've headed too many.
He scored 71 minutes.
Too many.
78 minutes, and Cantona made it on 86.
I've headed too many
footballs.
That's it.
Or Arsenal defenders.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah,
I think Anders Limpar's given me
Beat him 6-2 that season.
Where does the blame?
Cup.
There's a claim. You do know that, right, bro?
I don't believe in that because everybody else pays. Everybody else pays for that. That annoys me as well. That.
Quickly on that.
Ambulance chasing.
On the Arsenal thing. How did it end? All that.
Oh,
because it went on for a few games. Didn't it?
It'd been that was a culmination of it. What happened was that Arsenal won the league and we had to go down there on a bank holiday weekend and do the Guard of Honour stuff and all that kind of thing. And I thought, it's got to finish this before somebody gets hurt. Probably Nigel. So I went over, I decided that I would go. I went over to the phone and says, listen, we need to call this quits now. It's enough. We've had enough fun now. Let's just leave it now. And that was it. We came to well, don't know what we came to anyway, but that was the film.
So that was you. That wasn't the manager saying you need to put a stop to this now. You decided like this is just
I thought we better.
Yeah,
we better before somebody gets hurt. You know, I didn't want to hurt anybody. And I was sure that he didn't really want to hurt anybody either. It was
Easter Monday. My dad went to that Easter Monday, 91.
My boy was born that night, and I missed it. So it wasn't a great day, really. A memorable one. I remember that one.
Was it with Wood Summit in Rotterdam, or was it a week later? Wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Great.
A couple of weeks later. Yeah.
Must be good to have scored goals and
won
trophies for Man United.
Won that many league titles. You can't remember how many you've won.
Yeah. That 4-0 to you, yeah. Brian McClair 4, Gerard 0, is it?
Well, I've got 6 altogether if you include.
Oh yeah,
solid. League Cup, 3 FA Cup winners medals.
Because you had a long career. I didn't realise how. Because you were at United for so long.
I've still got a career. I don't know exactly what my career is, but I've still got one.
Well,
I've got an ex-career. That's better. Telling stories about my career if I can remember anything about it.
Why don't we Full-Time Devils FC get you up top? We'll play Arsenal Fan TV and we'll.
Sorry.
We'll get a scrap going again just for old time's sake.
Still got it in ya. Just finally, shot before you. I know you've got to shoot off. Just wanted to ask you about, because obviously you talk about your career. You went into coaching at United. Was that something you always thought about as a player? Because you was a bit of a joker as a player, weren't you? And
I'm still a joker now.
Exactly. A lot of people said you didn't expect you to do that.
No, because I didn't. At the time, you could only really see being a manager, and I thought you had to be a real mean bastard really to be a manager.
What could give you that idea?
I don't know. No idea. I don't know. I didn't think I had the characteristics for that. But I was encouraged, to have a little think about doing badges and things like that. And all that I thought about when it was that I wanted to be a professional football player. And the other thing I could come up with that I thought was sort of attractive, mainly because of the holiday time as being a teacher. And I loved maths and sciences and things like that. So what I ended up doing I ended up teaching football, which wasn't as good as playing. Nothing was better than playing. But it was a close thing to be involved in the educational side of football.
What's it like for you now, seeing some of the players you've worked with? The likes mentioned Brandon Williams.
Yeah, I love it.
I
love seeing all the players. Every time when I'm watching people watching football, and it comes up in the ticker tape that a player has scored a goal that you, bro, he's still playing, and occasionally you bump into them like Fraser Campbell, and then he gives you a row because I'm asking him where he's playing now. And he says thanks very much for keeping up with my career.
Yeah, so yeah.
Sometimes
been following you closely
as well,
because you were assistant manager at Blackburn when we won the treble, right?
I was first team coach.
First team coach.
Yeah, which was brilliant. That was good fun. I enjoyed the whole time.
Who was the manager then?
Brian Kidd.
Kiddo. So did you coach at United and then go on to Blackburn? And then
No, I left. No, I stopped playing. Stopped playing. Then I went to Blackburn for a year, and then I had a nice little sojourn for 18 months where I finished my A licence and made the 3 children 3 different meals every day because I could. Because I had the time.
Spend a bit of time with the family, and then was it then?
And then I went back to United.
United.
I think that Fergie's got a great sense of humour. He took me, he destroyed me first of all by bringing me down from Scotland, and then he destroyed me again by bringing me back. So for 25 years he made me, he tortured me.
I think it's the other way around. From
I
some
think
of the
it's all
stories
just-
you've told me about what you did to that poor man.
Day, yeah. But he's still doing it now because he keeps popping in my nightmares as well. You know.
See, he has this kind of Fergie has this aura about him that he's like rules with an iron fist and all that. But like, did you like? Because I kind of see like a mischievous side there. Did you just like play tricks on him, and wind him up and?
Oh, I was playing that, but he didn't have a problem with stirring his tea or his coffee with and taking the spoon out and putting it on the back of your neck when you weren't watching, So
I like doing that.
Yeah, it was his favourite trick. He was brilliant at it.
I do that to
Not
my
a lot
brother
you
a
can
lot.
do really about it, when you turn around and it's the manager that's done it, Like, well, he can do something, but you won't be there very much longer, So, and he had always that look on his face. What are you going to do about it? None just now. I'll wait.
Love that. So thank you to Brian McClair. Remember, if you want to hear more from him, you can check out the video that he's done with Jay. I really enjoyed that chat. Glad that we got him in on the opening of the podcast while we could.
Yeah.
People are probably thinking, why has he disappeared? Like, you had to go.
Yeah,
he wasn't here for the podcast.
Yeah, he's meeting his lad, I think, for something sweet.
Yeah. Not going to fill in anyone on the way. Hopefully.
He's gone looking for Nigel Winterburn. He's heard Winterburns in town. So he's going to go carry on that scrap.
Before we move on with the podcast, we have got a little plug-in.
Yes. If you listen to the podcast, you know that Harry's have sponsored us before. They've been back in the channel. Now, Harry's are a sort of shaving company, and what they do is they send you like a shaving kit, a razor, shaving gel. Comes in a nice little box, and it's like the thing with Harry's is that it's two lads, Jeff and Andy, ordinary guys who were fed up with overpriced razors, so they started Harry's. And they knew there was only one way to ensure quality, so they bought their own factory, so they're able to keep costs down. So by taking less profit, Harry's offers great quality products for a fair price. Their amazing quality blades are almost half the price of the 5 leading bland braids. So if you sign up,
Bland blades.
You
definitely said bland braids.
I said bland braids, didn't I?
Bland braids.
Mate, you wouldn't think I was a
Who
journalist.
wears bland braids?
I was a journalist.
Have
for
you
10
ever had
years.
braids? You have had hair before, right?
Right, listen, you've just rocked up. I've had an hour and a half of Choccy taking the piss out of me, right?
I'm just asking the questions people want to hear.
Do you know what, right? Funnily enough, I tried, right? I first learned I was going bald. When I tried to grow.
We tried Harry's.
Yeah, no. People at Harry's, if you're listening, we are available for more sponsorship. I tried to grow like dreads. And then, like, I remember being in the shower.
Dreads? Actual dreads?
Like, yeah.
Cane
like,
rolls?
Yeah, cane rolls, yeah. Sorry, like Snoop Doggy Dogg, like doggy style
Yeah.
style and all that. And I remember being in the shower and, like, thinking, like, looking in the mirror and thinking, because it seemed like my head through my hair. What's going on here? And my comb was like, what's going on here? Like, I was only 17. What the fuck's going on?
17?
17 when I started going bald, mate. So seriously.
One of my uncles had a full head of grey hair at like 20. So
That's what I mean.
I'm getting a 2-pack vibe here. You know what I mean? You like Snoop Dogg, now you got a 2-pack style. You know what I mean?
it's just bold, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
just
it's bottom, mate. So now,
Can you get a little tash 2-pack?
I can't grow a tash, though, that's the thing. I've got the worst of both worlds. I've got no hair on my head.
2-pack
and I
and a
can't.
goatee,
You
not a
like
tash.
you lot can grow. You've got to go. You've obviously got a full
pointing at me
beard.
saying you like is a bit racist, Jay. I would just let you know.
Yeah, you lot. You know,
You brown ones with
touch
the
of
beards.
brush.
Yeah, we're born with beards, to be fair.
Anyone listening, I'm not racist towards Adam McCullough. Some of my best friends are brown. At least 2 of my kids are. Right. Moving swiftly on anyway, Harry's. I was saying about bland. No, I've done it again.
Brand blades.
Brand blades, yeah, the cheaper. So anyway, you can get a Harry's starter kit. I've got one, and the arm in. It's like a proper set. Something you could get for Christmas for someone. It'd make a gift set if you want to send it like that. A trial set for $3.95. So you get your trial set delivered to you, including a razor handle, 5-blade cartridge, foaming shave gel, and a travel blade cover by going to harrys.com/devils. That's harrys.com/devils.
See, I would get it to use it. But if you're like an 18-year-old, 17-year-old lad, or you're even a girl that's listening to this podcast, watching, because girls do watch us as well, Christmas coming up. Free present there.
There you go. I've been using it. I'm not on my head, on my chin, and it is smooth. Does the trick. Nice and smooth. Someone's got to keep the standards.
He only
up
grows
for
a few hairs, though.
Few, all you lot here. I don't mean you lot. I mean you and Andy with beards. I'm going to stop talking now before I get
that was a good chat with Brian McClair, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Moving on swiftly.
Thank you. It's good stuff. I've known Choccy for a little while now. I've worked with him and we've done Q&As together. And the thing with Choccy is, he doesn't have a filter. He tells you what it is. It's like, I probably shouldn't say this, but I will anyway. Like, you don't get him on MUTV because he just wants to say, like, he's been asked and he just says, nah, it's not for me, because he just says what he wants to say and what he thinks. He's dead honest, and he's a funny guy.
And like, I remember the back end of his career, but the only reason I remember that is because I was a kid that grew up rewatching videotapes and this, that, and the other. Like, realistically, I shouldn't really remember him, but like a lot of people won't remember him, especially like people that watch YouTube and that. And it's like, he's got some stories, man. And especially when you think of like between, was it Ruud van Nistelrooy and George Best? He was the only one.
Yeah, you're
scored
right.
more than 30 goals in a season.
That's it. And one of my earliest memories.
Before before Ronaldo as well, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ruud van Nistelrooy did it before Ronaldo.
Yeah. One of my earliest memories was when United weren't doing that great. Choccy was like the main striker. He was the one that was keeping us going.
Late 80s, yeah. I watched
and then
it
obviously
many a time.
he dropped back eventually into midfield. I remember him and Ince formed a partnership when we first won the title. And let's not forget, Brian Robson was on the bench when Choccy was in midfield. That's how, I know Brian Robson was towards the end of his career, but that's the sort of...
And the FA Cup run, he scored against Sheffield United. I should have said this. Sheffield United away, Newcastle away, got 2 there. Oh, what? Sorry, it was Danny Wallace got 2, but he got 1 at Newcastle.
I've got to say this, right, because I've said this before to him. Our second goal against Brian, like, me and Tom were watching it, and the first thing we said, it was just like Choccy's goal against Sheffield Wednesday Hillsborough. If you get a chance, right, go and just Google it, go on Twitter, you'll find it.
How did that get taken off McTominay, by the way?
I don't know how
because surely it's, if you have a shot and it's going in the goal on target and someone hits it and it go, then it's still your goal because it was going in.
Pereira's was more an own goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly like McTominay hit the ball. It was rolling in.
Because the defenders made a last ditch attempt.
He hasn't changed the direction of the ball,
so
it was really, like you say, I think Pereira's was
That's
more of
an
an
OG,
own goal.
because it was going one way.
But I don't think Pereira's was, but it was more of an own goal than McTominay's. Yeah.
It was, those 2 goals were just exquisite.
Andreas Pereira he grew into the game after that, but he got so lucky with that.
Oh, do you know what, mate? Yeah. I know we shouldn't do this. You might have an opinion, but I just can't make my mind up about Pereira.
He's a
talented boy.
Man, honestly,
he's a talented boy. He's got the ability, but like Steve said on his Fancam, he's got the decision-making of a cat. His decision-making is really poor, and I think that was something Anthony Martial was pulling him up about. He was gripping his face and that. That was good, that, innit? And I think he's saying to him, like, bruv, we might have won, but you know what I mean?
You could have that guy that's dubbed the commentary over it.
Yeah, it's good. And it's true, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think even with Marcus Rashford, there's a thing where performances are great, but these chances are going to come to haunt us if we don't start taking them. And I think we've all got to start getting ruthless, man.
I agree.
That comes with maturity, though.
I agree what you're saying, and it's like if you could put Marcus's highlights reel together from Brian, you can make him look amazing, like the best player you've ever seen. And if you put the reel of the mistakes he made, he'd look like someone who just won a competition to play for Manchester United. I could
say that miss he made.
Yeah,
Martial would have said, "What the how'd you fuck you miss that?"
And it's
you need a bollocking sometimes.
Yeah, and I think to be fair, I think Marcus knew because he.
I don't think he needed a bollocking.
Yeah, he knew.
Not for that one.
He was sort of on the floor punching the ground at one point, and you could see he was like a man.
I thought his head went.
Yeah, he did. He did chase after everything, didn't he? I know what you mean. But I just, we were saying it at the time. Martial, what I like about Martial, he's doing a lot of things that almost go unnoticed. If you're not watching him, you think, oh, he's had a quiet game. When he hasn't, he's almost pulling the strings. And I think him and Marcus, and Daniel James, I thought was meant.
Danny James mentioned the influence of Martial after. He said that it's made it easier for him and Rashford. Do
you think Martial, I know that people will hate the comparison, but I'm going to do it anyway because look where they are. Do you think he could be like a Firmino for us?
I think he could be better than Firmino.
Yeah.
I know Firmino scores goals.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of... Because what Martial has is...
Do you understand what I mean with that?
Yeah. Like links everything
up.
What Martial has is the ability to come deep with his back to goal and take the ball into his path and then maybe turn. He has the ability to spin in behind defenders and go that way. So you can slip the through ball into him. The ability to play one-touch football and knock it off. I think when you look at... I'm not saying Firmino hasn't got that. He is very talented. But I just think when you're looking at a striker that has the pace to burn in behind you and score goals, look at his finishing ability. has the skill to beat you when you're like. He's got it all in his locker, I think. And I agree with you. I thought he wasn't my man of the match that day, but he could have been. He got two assists. He linked everything up. On another day, he gets a goal or two as well. And there's a few moments where we should have set him up for the goal. And it's like, I'm happy with that. Same with Marcus Rashford. What's he got? 9 goals?
I think
3
it's
assists?
six in the league. I think, he might have 9.
8 goals, 3
2 in
assists.
the League Cup. Yeah, it's about 9.
1 in the
Alright.
Europa, 9.
Yeah.
It's
Martial's got, I think he's got 5 goals in 9 games. 7 of those starts. It's like his form is coming very good.
That's a formidable front three, but do you think we need to add to it? Maybe one.
I think
more?
depth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially in Danny
experience-wise.
James.
Yeah. Because you don't want to burn the kid out because you're going to have to rotate and rest.
But if you remember, like, Danny James has taken Jesse Lingard's position in their team. Like, if you remember when we played well, when we played well last season, it was Jesse, Marcus, and Martial.
Yeah, you're right.
And now it's Jesse's probably thinking Danny James has taken my place. Now, I think Danny James gives us a different option in terms that the natural width is there. And probably if you play Jesse as a number 10, well, Jesse hasn't deserved to play this season. And I think you look at Danny James and he's coming, not only the running, the willingness to do it, but he's now getting the quality in his passing as well, which when I saw him in pre-season, I thought your final ball has to be a lot better than it is. And now
he plays
I think
all over the game, Dan.
Yeah. And his final ball's getting there as well.
No, he was a joy to watch against Brighton. He's a sort of player.
My dad said he's a breath of fresh air.
You know, just like attacking fast, sort of counter-attacking football as well. And he had their fullback on toast, and it was just good to watch. It reminded me of the old United. Do you know what I mean? I'm not getting carried away and saying we're going to win the treble.
You could see that last 20 minutes, 25 minutes. There's something there, but you need to add to this and change it. If when we're going to play other teams, you're going to have to rotate it round. This plan B has to come, and this is where Solskjaer's going to have to start doing his own work.
What did you make of the thing as well? The thing. What did you make of De Gea and his distribution? Because everyone where I was stood was probably a big criticism.
I didn't notice.
I can't remember focusing on it. So.
I'm just curious if that was something you picked up on.
I do think that
because that was something that no one was shouting at him or anything like that. It was quite supportive.
In the midfield was brilliant, and the front forwards was brilliant.
I'm not blaming this on Mourinho before everyone wants to kill me in the comments, but when Mourinho came in, his distribution got different. Yeah, his distribution went from a forward-thinking one to just chipping it out to the sides. And if you notice, he always hits the ball like bends it. Yeah. He'll never like hit it over the top, or he needs a little bit more. I remember Peter Schmeichel used to set up a counter-attack straight away. And you think with Danny James in the team,
that's it.
With Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, and we're counter-attacking. If he could pick the ball up and just launch it. You remember Schmeichel used to, he'd just grab the ball, run to the edge of the box, throw it, and you'd have fucking Kanchelskis, Giggs, Lee Sharp, like just everyone just going.
Maybe that's something that'll come into his game.
No, but you've got to. I think you've got to be coached that almost, and I think he has. I think what we're looking at a lot of players is they've been coached in a Van Gaal, Mourinho kind of frame, which is safety first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No criticism. Well, you can take it as a criticism if you want.
You can play safety, but you've got to go on the front foot.
But I think like now we've got a goalkeeper that is. We've got a manager that's looking right, head up. How are we getting there?
We've got to play. You're right. We've got the players for that as well. Do you know what I mean? We have Dan James, Marcus, and Martial. They're rapid, all three of them. Do you know what I mean? If you can't hit teams on a break, you know what I mean? If David De Gea gets the ball and they're in our half, he can set up a counter attack.
I mean, that Sheffield United game, that's a really difficult big game for us now. Because we've got a run of fixtures up till the derby. We've got Sheffield United, Villa, and Spurs. And you've got to be looking to take up, because I fancy
9 points.
No, 9 points. You're talking 9 because Tottenham.
Spurs.
I'll take a draw. Actually,
Tottenham blow hot and cold, don't they? You know they do.
We should at home. At home, we should be beating Spurs.
Like Sheffield United as well will miss Henderson.
Yeah, that's what. But you're looking at taking 9 points before you go into that derby at the Etihad. But like you say, like my dad says, game at a time.
We'll go to the Etihad and beat them.
I think we will. I think you're right. Mate. I think that would sum it up. That. And honestly, let's face facts. Yeah,
I would love it.
City haven't been the team they were last season.
They're missing company, man.
We all need to accept Liverpool have won the league.
No.
Yeah.
Not with
that's
not
shocking
no,
before
not with
he's driving
26
on it.
games.
No, mate, no.
Andy.
Mate,
Andy.
you were 10 points clear at Christmas and he still
Andy.
balled it.
Mate,
Andy.
let it into your heart, man. Just let it.
Just
accept
it.
I'm not
It's going
accepting
to be
jack
easy.
shit.
Yeah, that's why it's going to hurt you.
Do you know what I mean?
Just
Book your
accept it
holiday.
now.
Book your holiday for May.
They lose
Yeah.
Salah, Firmino. They get injuries. They will struggle. They haven't. They'd be very fortunate. They have no injuries, no suspensions. Let's see how good they are when they come back from.
They didn't have injuries last season.
They are
though.
very good, Andy.
I'm not disputing the European champions. They are very good.
Mate, I think Jurgen Klopp is the best coach in the world.
At the moment,
Do you know
yes.
what?
Sorry.
But the
Better
thing
than
is,
Pep.
they're very.
There's,
See how they get on with it.
And I
injuries.
apologise to everyone listening to this podcast to say that.
Why was not? You know.
Because we're not here to talk about them.
Video
wankers.
though. I remember when Fergie was signing me and you talking about Klopp.
Saying shit.
No, it was, yeah. Don't blame him. What are you on about? Get Moyes in, he's much better.
Stand by that.
Yeah, mate, we were talking about that the other day at the game. Like, we were all guilty of that one. But yeah, we just got to lump it, mate. Got to like it. Not like it, sorry, but just lump it. Just face it.
Ain't over till it's over.
It's over.
Do you know what? Anyone but the Scousers, yeah, I get that. But even City winning three in a row.
Leicester.
If Leicester, I tell you what, right?
Leicester.
If Leicester win a league,
Jamie Vardy will be having a party.
Down King Power. I'm gonna be joining in with the celebrations.
Jamie
That'll
Vardy's
feel like
party.
We've won something.
I don't-
Stop City
I don't
and Liverpool winning the league.
I'm just moving off that Liverpool because Liverpool have won the league, and I think it's a message to all Man United fans to just accept it. Andy, you mentioned Sheffield United there. Someone that came from Sheffield United, Harry Maguire. I thought his performance against Brighton was very good, and I think him wearing the captain's armband is something we might get used to.
Good. Well, I think it's turning in the right direction. I do remember away at parties and he got turned inside out first half. I wasn't impressed with that.
When he got sat down.
Yeah.
I think that can happen, right? If you're
I
a
know,
defender, it's like if you're a boxer, there's going to be a clip of you out there getting punched in the face. Like, whether you like it or not, do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be, even if you're the best boxer in the world.
Like I said in the summer, if he transfers, when the rumours were going on, he's a potential captain. Maybe not now, but for the future. But he's got it now. If he carries on with it, there's no need to.
Because there was little bits like
hand it over back to Ashley
he
Young.
was in Brandon Williams' ear. He was.
Yeah, I think he's had a bit of unfair criticism, Harry Maguire, and even I've been a little bit unfair with him because I think people forget. Yes, Leicester might be riding high in the league and all that, but it's a completely different story going from Leicester coming to Manchester United with that price tag as well, the expectation that was with it, and having to adapt. And I think people expect him not just to be good defensively, but to be storming out of defence with the ball and pinging 80-yard passes because he's this £80 million defender. And I think we have to temper our expectations a little bit. And it's been a process, but I've been relatively impressed.
I think he's been good.
Yeah, he has.
I think he's been in. I think people are looking at Smalling's form in Italy as well and getting all this hindsight stuff, and it's like, bro, Smalling was awful.
What do you think Smalling need a bit more time?
Fair play to Smalling. I hope he has a great time out in Italy.
Yeah.
He's really doing well, despite the fact Palmer beat him at the weekend. But
knowledge.
Yeah, he's doing well, but he doesn't need to come back. Do you know what I mean? It's like Lukaku scores a goal in Inter Milan, and all of a sudden people, no. Mourinho might go to somewhere and win a few games, but no, he deserved to get. It's like, stop changing history.
I know. It's like if Phil Jones leaves and has a blinder somewhere, why'd you get rid of him?
Yeah,
it's like Johnny Evans at Leicester.
No, that should never have happened. I do agree he was bad at the time, but that should never have happened. Smalling should have went first. Jones should have went first.
Mate, people forget, man. We let PK go. Do you know what I mean?
Now PK, PK had to go. PK, it was either let PK go or let Evans go. Yeah. And we always felt PK would go back to Barcelona, so it was like, all right.
Evans had that season at Sunderland as well, didn't he? Where he played all through the season and done really well. PK had been in that United team. And at the time, we had like Rio, Vidic, Smalling, Jones, and Evans and PK. It was like...
PK pundit.
Hey,
how about that?
That's trademark, that one. That's coming up.
Yeah. We're going to do one of them. I am Madam McCollum. Wallies of the weeks? VAR?
Yeah.
You don't have to say yes.
Am I allowed to be political in this podcast?
Go on then.
Come on, Adam. You're the man. No, I'm calling you Adam. Come on, Macca. You know what
So it depends. If you're anti-Tory, yes.
Well, I'm anti Nigel Farage is my wallet.
All right, yeah, that's all
Because
right.
if he's after all his pledges, I know this will bore a lot of people, but I do take sort of passing interest in it. After all his things about this Brexit deal's the worst deal ever, we're going to fight the Tories. He said he's not going to stand any of the Brexit pie in any seats that the Tories won last year.
That's because
Sorry, in 2017.
Tories are the Brexit party
Exactly.
light, and also
There's not even any.
he needs Brexit for all his hedge fund mates and all them people.
So,
Bruv, if you vote for someone like, look, if you don't want to vote for Labour or Corbyn or whoever or whatever, that's fine. That's your prerogative, innit? That's cool. But if you vote for Boris Johnson or Nigel Farage, you are a prick. Like, if you can't see the absolute scam that they are pulling off in front of the world right now, you're a prick. If you vote for them, you deserve everything you get. It's right. It's fully true.
I'm fully clipping this up, mate.
We've gone political. I don't know what's happened.
I said, can I got political? And you were like,
Last time I went political, I got sacked.
I don't do politics.
Fucking
Do
hell.
football.
Do you know what I hate though, right? I hate this. They're all the same. They're not all the same.
They are the same.
No, mate, they're not.
Some people have been consistent since 1980s
Yeah,
with the
they're
same
not.
opinions and the
They're
same
not all-
things,
I think
repping the same
Some are
cause.
terrorist sympathisers.
Let's not-
You
no,
need to be
no,
reading
Right.
the Sun.
Listen,
Reading the Sun.
regardless,
The Red
of all
Party.
that, all I would say is you should vote.
I'm not voting for either of them.
That's what I mean. You should vote. You should go out there and vote. We've just had Armistice Day, right? That's what we fought for, democracy.
But I think now,
Go and fight, go and vote, I would say. Even
yeah.
if you go in there and write bollocks on your ballot, just go in there and vote, spoil your ballot. But
I mean,
vote.
Boris is a prick as well. So
Well, go and write that next
Boris
to his
is a
name.
prick.
Yeah.
Yeah. On
There
your
you
ballot
he's the
paper.
biggest prick in the world. Oh man,
I'm so glad I
working
brought
class
up
people that
politics.
support these Etonians makes me sick. Makes me fucking sick. All of yous.
So he's my wally of the week anyway.
Oh mate, I shouldn't have let you go there. Shouldn't
You
have
were
let
like
go
the
there.
voice of reason a minute ago, and then you
I was
just
trying to
picked
keep
up the
it.
baton and took it further.
No, it's because it's like, imagine reading the Sun and believing that shit as well. It's like, bruv, get a grip, man.
One thing the Scouts has got bang on. Don't buy the Sun.
And if you notice, in Liverpool, the Tories never get voted in,
Don't, did they?
and they don't buy the Sun.
Yeah.
Wonder why that is, Mr. Murdoch. Anyway, Wally of the week for me is... Go on, Andy. Who's your Wally of the week? Is it VAR? Yeah.
Yeah, the guy in the control room who thinks he knows everything. The game is being killed. We just
The
don't
shit
need it.
referees run the PGMO. L. Shit ref. Who's the shittest referee you've ever seen? Go on. Name 3. I bet you one of them's the head referee at PGMOL.
George Courtney,
don't even
Uriah Rennie.
Oh, Uriah Rennie was terrible. Mate, I don't care. Atkinson's still up there for me. Atkinson cost us the league.
Mike Riley
You can fuck off. He cost us the
is
league.
the chief of
No.
PGMOL.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can. You can ask another
This
one.
VAR thing, it's in his first season. I know all the other European leagues, and it's standard, it's compulsory. Could the English Premier League quash it and throw it out? It's just a question I'm asking.
What, VAR?
Yeah, out of this league, could we throw
I think
it out
to
of the
do it
English
halfway
league?
through a season would be...
No, I mean, end
bit
of the
fucked.
season then.
I think the English, whoever it is, the English FA referees, I don't know who makes these decisions. I'd assume it's the referees, right? They are fiddling with it where it don't need to be fiddled. We saw it at the World Cup. I hate the whole aspect of changing football from how it is at grassroots to...
Oh, go on
like,
with technology,
no, like-
I'm all for that.
Yeah, but I can understand that because it's...
That's black
accurate.
and white. That's black and white. That.
But VAR, you can't get that on a Sunday league game. So for me, you should never have it anyway because it changes the game. But some people say there's too much money in the game, we need it. All right, fair enough. When I saw it at the World Cup, I thought, it's not that bad. And now, the way we're using it, it's like...
It's American football.
It's like, what is going
We
on?
had,
It's like you're trying to find... Every goal, it's like, where's the reason we can disallow this?
Yeah.
Rather than, is there anything obvious that we missed?
The Sheffield United one on Saturday.
You're on about the first
equaliser.
equaliser,
Yeah, the first equaliser. That wasn't offside. A millimetre, because you got a big toe. Is that what it is? Is that what it's come down to now? Was it the previous Spurs game? Dele Alli handballs it. VAR. Oh no, it's okay. Give him an equaliser. So it's inconsistency week in, week out. The same decision you'll pull, then the following week you'll let it go. So at least do you want to believe a guy who's in a control room, like say in the middle of Britain, watching it? It's not good. Like I say, McTominay on 3.5 minutes on Sunday for that goal.
The time it's taking is
it's a joke.
For that goal as well, which was pretty. I think the only thing that was possible was did Maguire handball it, because it was clear McTominay wasn't offside, and then they take that long, and it was like the referee's waiting. The Brighton players started putting the ball back by the goal.
I was
thinking, what?
They were trying at
the goal's not given.
It was getting annoying because people think he's going to disallow it.
And it's like against Liverpool, remember? I told you I didn't celebrate that goal. Yeah. And it's like...
No, the atmosphere's killed now.
This is the thing, and you know what it is?
But I don't mind if decisions are right.
Yeah.
I think they can, but
no, but we don't need this.
They can, but they won't. If they've gone too far now.
Can it be?
How can you tell me they've done testing periods for years, but they're still testing? How can you tell ref, don't go look at the screen ever?
Why don't the ref go and look at the screen?
Wouldn't it be quicker if that referee on the weekend, the guy goes, there might be something in that McTominay goal, go and have a look. He runs over to the screen, exactly. It's there. What's that, 30, 45 seconds?
Quicker than what it took.
Rather than...
There has to be at least a minute. This 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. It's not acceptable in any game. I say this, a team's going to walk off. Seriously, a team will walk off because of a decision. It could be a relegation battle, could be top 4. Imagine the imagine it the Etihad.
You can't do that.
Imagine the Etihad return leg.
You lose 3-0.
You know what I mean? City Liverpool end of the season. You imagine that. Walk off. I'm not having it.
Can't do that though, can you? Where's you draw the line? Then you just like.
I did love Pep though, losing his mind.
That is brilliant.
If I didn't hate Liverpool so much,
I know.
I would.
That was hilarious.
They have rattled the whole from Raheem Sterling going into England duty, still angry and being like,
"You're sweet.
You're the big man now, Joe Gomez." I think
that's passion. That's what United need. We'll get it back.
I think we've got some of that.
We've got it.
I think when you look around, like you look at Brandon Williams at fullback, you got a little bit of fight there.
Big time.
You know, Harry Maguire at centre half,
can have it.
A lot of bit of fight there. Axel, if he comes, I think he's got that bit of grit. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he doesn't look like a guy that's going to scream and shout and all that, but he's not scared of a tackle.
Rojo as well.
McTominay. Rojo should be our captain, by the way, but McTominay in the centre of midfield, same. Keeps your levels high. You know, Fred, maybe not, but okay, fine. I think Pogba will throw his weight around when he needs to.
He's like that.
Remember, who was it? Mark Noble just looked at him like, "What are you doing, you little man?"
That was so
funny.
And
like Rashford, don't stop running. So there's that. Danny James, he's not a hard man, but he's gonna run your legs off. Do you know what I mean? And it's like we have got
desire.
Martial is a bad man, you know.
Martial. Have
you seen that clip against Swansea?
What was it going to say?
He just stares at the guy, and the guy's just like.
That's what I mean. He don't need to throw his fist about.
And then there was Kieran Trippier, where Kieran Trippier come up to him and he just gave him one big shove and just looked at him like, "What the fuck, bro? Don't ever mess with me ever again."
Martial is scary.
You know what it is?
Even when he scores, he looks scary at times.
I know people like that. It's like there are people when you play football, you can have a little bit of, and they'll take it and give it back. And then there's some you just don't mess with because they'll take everything like, all right, I'm taking that personally now. Like this ain't no game. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he is that guy that just went, "Fuck you! I'll knock you out." I love it. Love it. We have got a few bastards in our team now.
This is what we've missed, man. We've not had that. Like,
but just give Marcus Rojo the captaincy, please.
Marcus Rojo and Brandon Williams next to each other.
Captain and vice captain.
Mate, you would not want to be a right winger against United.
You wouldn't want to be Boris or Farage.
Nicely done. Hey.
Yeah, like that. Right. So Wally's of the week's our VAR.
Yeah.
He was yours.
Oh, mine was Farage, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, mine was.
Sorry to get all political.
Mine was.
Oh yeah. Come on, son.
I'll keep mine football related or sport related. I don't know, you know. What's happened?
Come on, you're into all your sports. There's no one who's sticking out if there's anything happening in boxing or...
I'll tell you who
there you go.
Are the biggest fools in Manchester.
Oh.
No, not in Manchester, in the world. All these boxing journalists that spent their time covering KSI and Logan.
Yeah. I
don't mind if you covered it. I would have covered it too if I was still in that business. because, you know, you get paid to be there, you cover it. But for the people that covered that and didn't cover one of the biggest fights of the year in Inoue against Daenerys, which was 2 days before, which was at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time, so you can tune in. Baddest fight, two, like a boxing Hall of Famer and a future boxing Hall of Famer. You're thinking, bruv, you've never watched that fight. It's like the World Cup finals on at the same time and you watch hashtag. It's like, what is going on? Do you know what I mean? Now, fair play to Logan and KSI. Go and get your paper, boys. But if you're supposed to be a real boxing journalist and you covered that and you didn't cover Inoue and Daenerys, look in the mirror and slap yourself 3 times right now.
3 times.
Because you missed possibly the fight of the year. And hats off to the Sauerland brothers and the WBSS, because the World Boxing Super Series has been amazing. When you look at Josh Taylor. Was it Josh Taylor that won it? The Scottish? Yeah. Taylor Progress. Yeah. Great fight. Fight of the year, possibly. Inoue Daenerys, possibly fight of the year. Usyk winning the other one. There's some top competition, so yeah, they did well with that. But that's just nothing. Boxing.
There you go.
So yeah, imagine watching Logan Paul KSI over Inoue against Daenerys. You don't even know who Inoue is. That's the thing.
I don't do boxing.
No, that's the disgrace. But you know who KSI and Logan are, and you should know Inoue should be a household name, but he's not. So there you have it.
We'll sort that out.
I'm not down with it. Sorry.
Hey.
It's a household name.
Podcast at a time.
Make sure you're getting on harrys.com/devils.
Well done.
What's the deal with that? Free trial.
Let me just look on this piece of paper. You get your trial set for $3.95. There you go. T's and C's apply. Check it out. There's a link in the description of this podcast.
Me mugs.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't shave, then get it anyway and wrap it up for someone and give it as a present.
Full-Time Devils are doing Christmas mugs as well.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. Many freebies knocking about.
We'll get some, right? We'll get some on the next podcast. You can all have a look.
Should we give some away?
Yeah, good shout, right?
Let the people know.
Yeah.
We'll give some
Personalised for Christmas.
Rate this. What is it? What do you have to do to get one?
Okay. Go on to iTunes.
Yeah.
And review, 5-star review, if you want to. 5-star review the video, the podcast. And yeah, tell us why you love it, and then we'll send the thing out to one of you.
Yeah.
We'll mention your name on the next podcast.
Make sure you put your name as well.
As the winner.
Yeah.
So you'll have to listen to the next podcast to find out if you won.
Yeah.
We're not going to just contact you out of the blue. So yeah, if you want to win one of those mugs, you can do that. If not, thanks for listening to us mugs. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Been on fire with your links today, you. Hey, Sheffield United, Aaron Maguire.
Brian McClair got me informed today.
Been a good one today.
Right then. See you later.